What's going on out there? Hope everybody having a good day. Hope everybody having a good day. Thank you for tuning in to the Lethal Truth, where the truth has set you free by any means necessary. It could be mentally, it could definitely be physically, depending on your situation, especially if you be in prison. So the truth could definitely help. I hope everyone having a good day. I want to say, happy Mother's Day to everybody that has children. Grandmothers, adopted mothers, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who adopted parents. So I want to say happy Mother's Day, although Mother's Day is every day, all day, even on your birthday. So don't let nobody confuse you and tell you that, this special day is just that for you and that's it. Nah, this day goes on every day. You know what it takes to be a mother? It doesn't take just a holiday or one day. It takes every single day. So I guess, people like to you choose this day for mothers just to show their appreciation. I had to say it like that because, some brothers, they get into this religious aspect and they just want to cloud other people's judgment when it comes to Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? And you can't force everybody to believe in your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Some people celebrate the day best that they know how. And this is a special day, especially if you've grown up practicing Mother's Day, Christmas, and so forth. I'd like to say, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I had to treat my wife to a nice dinner, going to the buffet, eating some hot. Yo, listen, I was out there. The line was almost a half a block. I said, oh no, but we made it in there. God. With God's help, we made it up in there. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more time for about 2-3 minutes. So get whatever you gotta get so you can tune in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as soon as you come in the room. Tell a friend to tune in. I got a good show for y'all today. It's been a long time coming, probably a week or week and a half, been busy. But this airwaves lately has been man, it's been crazy with the Rodney Hinton case. Oh man, yeah, we gonna definitely get into it. But like I said, we gonna wait for a few people to tune in. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna get right into it. It's a real case. This is real serious. This case is dividing the population in America right now. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. What's up, Lethal Seduction? Lethal Seduction is in the building. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to say thank you all for tuning in again. Let me get a round of applause. Get a round of applause, get a round of applause. So, leave it in the comments. How y'all feel about Mother's Day today? Did the ladies only if you win. Ladies, did you enjoy Mother's Day today? I gotta know. Put in the comments. You enjoy Mother's Day today? Did you get fed? Did you get some roses? My son came in and blew up my spot. He gave my wife roses. I was like, oh man, I was going to the flower shop. He done. But I'm assuming that women will never deny flowers, you know what I'm saying? So, but I said, look, hey, you took the thunder, you know what I mean? I said, well, I'm gonna take out and feed her. But let's get right into it, First of all, let me get a drink of water. I bought the big water, so I got a lot to talk about. So today we're gonna talk about the brother Rodney Hinton Jr., who they said allegedly ran a car into a deputy's car. But ran into a deputy with his car. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the officer that killed Ryan Hinton, right? Hold on a second. The echoes. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. So, let's get right into it. Like I said, the officer, Ryan Hinton was gunned down May 1st, 2025. I have yet to know how many times he was shot. Now, the story, as everyone is painting the picture, and I say everyone because there's several stories that's going out there because the police department in Cincinnati is trying to cover up this murder. Why you think they only concentrating on Rodney right now? They ain't even talking about Ryan. They're not even talking about the officer that murdered him. You don't even know what's going on with. Do you know his name? I'll wait. See, you don't even know the officer's name. They trying to deter you from paying attention to what he did. Now, the story goes that Ryan was alone with 3 of his friends and decided to steal a car. Hey, Monica, what's up? He decided to steal a car and went for joyriding. And I guess throughout the night, they must have got tired and they're sitting down in the car and just relaxing. And then the officers, along with several more officers, now listen to this story, several more officers seen them in the car and automatically chased them. Immediately, Ryan and his friends dispersed from the vehicle and took off in separate directions. These several officers that was on the job at the location looking for this car that they claimed that they tracked with the GPS saw all these individuals running, but decided at the same time to chase Ryan Hinton. And during that pursuit, the officers claim that they saw Ryan with a weapon. And as you know, you heard the video. He has a gun, but you don't see the gun in the video, right? Now, once Ryan get into sight of one of the officers who pulled the trigger, he shot him 4 times. He shot him several times in the back. Now, this is real interesting, right? Because when a car is stolen, and is reported stolen, they have an APB out for that car, right? Now, they said they was tracking the car through its GPS. So it would take a certain patrol car to locate this stolen vehicle. It doesn't take several cars or officers to go to a location to retrieve a stolen car. Because far as they know, it's just a car that's abandoned. They didn't have a call saying a car did a drive-by. There was individuals in a car with weapons. All they know, is that this car was stolen. Right? Okay. Now, here's my thing. Where's his friends? Did anybody ask that question? Where's his friends? They said it was 3 friends. Now, you know, black people, you've been living in this country long enough. You know when an officer shoots us down and it's multiple individuals in the process of that attack, what happens? You start seeing them make statements. They have lawyers, they got programs or whoever that's backing them to hear their cries so they can get justice. Example, like the Sean Bell case. You had several individuals that was in that car when that car was getting light up. You heard all their statements because why? They was there. Police found them right then and there on the spot. So where's these friends? Why? For me, I think they're lying. I don't think it was nobody in there. Now, there's different stories going around. They're saying that Ryan was trying to go home and he couldn't get in the house. He didn't have a key for some apparent reason. So since he was calling and texting, nobody was answering the phone, he decided to go do what he was going to do, which I don't know because Ryan didn't tell me what he was going to do, and he didn't tell the police what he was going to do, and he didn't tell nobody else with so-called friends what he was going to do because we don't see no friends, right? So we all know that Ryan just decided to disperse and go wherever he needed to go. Now, he's in this vehicle. The vehicle, come to find out, wasn't really reported stolen. Well, excuse me, it was reported stolen, but we came to find out that the person that owned the car, was missing payments. So as you know, like myself, you own a car, you're missing payments, they're not calling 911. The company that owns that car has their own Pacific repo team, and they're going to send their repo team to go get that car. They're not calling you, telling you we repoed the car. They're not going to do any of that. And they're going to just take the car and they're going to put it where? In their lot. They're going to put it in where? In their lot. But this vehicle wasn't in the lot. This vehicle was in an open parking lot. So how was it repoed? And now it's missing license plates. Wait a minute. Who owns the goddamn car? Did anybody stood up and say, hey, I own the car? It's a lot of cover-up going on. I don't think the car was stolen. Because now they're actually saying that one of Ryan's friends owned the car and it was missing payments. Well, where's his testimony? Everybody is in the camera except him. Where's this guy? I don't think for a minute that car was actually stolen. There's any documents for shown? Because they clearly did a whole stand-up comedy showing how Ryan was running and what Ryan was doing. And oh my God, you gotta hear this. Like, I mean, you gotta see this. I'm serious. Hold on now. You gotta see this. Because they saying at first, right? This is Ryan, right? He's running right here. Do you see a gun? There's no gun. Then they got a fake one like this. They edited. You don't see anything. You see how fuzzy that is? But you see how clear that is. What's going on? Now when this so-called deputy or commissioner that was given a press release about Ryan and was trying to break it down and everything, they clearly showed that Ryan was running from the cops, right? He was running for whatever reason. I don't know if he was running from the stolen car. I don't know if he was scared. Because if I see police running towards me saying freeze, hey, I don't care if I did anything or not. You got guns and you chase me, I'm running. Because I don't know what you planning to do. You done set us up for thousands of years. And there was a brother that just came home for doing 40 years because 2 white girls lied and said they raped him and they hid the evidence because their coochies was intact. And to this day, they in their 60s still lying. So yes, I am afraid of police, especially white women. I'm sorry. I have to say that because we have a history of being criminalized by the police and by white women. So now when they chasing Ryan, right, the commissioner says, or whoever she is, they navigated the screen from the TV onto her while she's explaining how Ryan had a gun and all this, but we don't see no gun. Now they showing some fake gun that he had. They saying that's the gun. Where's the gun on camera? That's what we want to see. We don't want to see no pictures on the screen, you telling us what it is. We want to see the body cam footage. That's what we want to see. But they hiding it because they know that Ryan didn't have a gun. It was another video that they had that it showed Ryan falling, right? And they said when he fell, the gun fell. Wait a minute. And they said they all heard when the gun fell. So if the gun fell and you said gun, why did you shoot? If the gun fell and he's still running, why did you shoot? And if he's running and you say he had a gun, how is he shooting you like this? Because he got shot up in the back. He wasn't in front of you like this. So who's lying? See, these devils, man, you can't believe nothing they say. Yeah, they planted the gun, Monica. They did plant the gun. They planted the gun. Then they want to talk about all his criminal records and what criminal record? Like what? Tell me, I'll wait. What he got locked up for? You notice they never told you, right? They say he has a criminal record. Of what? What did he do? Jump the turnstile? What did he do? Steal some chips out the Dollar Tree? What did he do? Get caught with a razor or a knife at a park or in a school and he got suspended? That criminal record you talking about? What kind of criminal record? Did he murder somebody? No, we didn't say that because you would have advertised it like it was McDonald's commercial. So you know he ain't getting locked up for no murder or assault or guns because they would have ran. And you know when black people get arrested for officers harming them or killing them, and the first thing they do, they go after your record. See, the first thing they do when they want to shit on you after murdering you, they use propaganda. See, that's the first thing. They have to divide the country. They have to divide the house niggas away from you. So they put up this lame ass excuse about a criminal record. But we don't even know what Ryan did as a criminal. I know I was seeing pictures of him on a football team in high school. That don't sound like no gangbanger to me because they said he was a gangbanger. He was a gang member. Well, down with who? Please tell me who was Ryan. Anybody out there, please tell me who he was down with. But he was a blood, he was a Crip, because they be quick to find you on Facebook, on TikTok. And you know that these young kids nowadays, they have no problems of letting the FBI know on their social media who they down with. So trust me, if Ryan was down with something, it'd have been all over the news media. But it wasn't. Because they didn't have nothing. They was trying to cover it up. They needed some time. They know what they was doing. Ask yourself this, how come you don't know who the officer name is? They said it's to protect the officer. Protect him from what? Protect him from what? Ryan's father's in jail right now, so who to protect him from? Look what they said. And you won't believe this. Okay. Because I want to show you why they're trying to, what they're using to keep his name out of the media, right? Okay. So, as of now, the Cincinnati Police Department has not released the name of the officer who fatally shot 18-year-old Ryan Hinton on May 1st, 2025. Police Chief Teresa Tangi, oh, that's the devil's name, excuse me. Teresa Tigay has cited Marcy's law as a reason for withholding the officer's identity. So now all of a sudden, they want to use law now. So when they kill us, we don't get their name after revenge. They're afraid now. That this is a sign. I want you to know this is a sign of something where now they're using the law to withhold officers' name that kill us because you know why? We're getting tired. And now people are going to start retaliating. So now they use the marshal's law. What is that? As a reason to hold a name. The martial law is a constitutional amendment in Ohio. Okay? That grants certain rights to crime victims, including the right to privacy. The department interprets this law as applicable to police officers involved in shootings, thereby justifying the non-disclosure of the officer's name. As the interpretation has sparked debate, critics argue that the Mercer's law was intended to protect civilian victims, not law enforcement officers acting in the line of duty. They contend that withholding the officer's identity hampers public accountability and transparency, especially in cases involving the use of deadly force. The officers involved in the shooting is currently on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. Oh, and he is on administrative leave with pay. So he's still getting money while home after killing a nigga. Because that's how they think. So I have to use that language. We ain't going to pacify this on here. Talking about the black man. No, they killed the nigga. That's how they thinking. So I want you to hear that type of language. Right? The Cincinnati Citizens Complaint Authority is conducting an independent review of the incident. So here's the police branch of investigating the police. Come on, this is a joke. That's like Bloods investigating Bloods because a Blood killed the Crip. Does that make sense to you? All right, that's my thing. It don't make no sense. because they know they messed up. They know they messed up. And they know they can't even clean it up. Because lately, these correction officers and the other officers been getting jail time. So now they got to clean up their act. Because they like, oh no, now this is all we need now is another one. My son just asked, where is the officer and his friends that were supposed to be in the car with the other team? Hey, that's the question I'm asking. Where's his friends? His friends ain't saying nothing. That remind me of Sean Bell. Like I said, they said it was a fifth guy in the car and he disappeared. But the car was lit up with 50 bullets. Everybody got shot, but the fifth man, he disappeared. How the hell he dodged 50 bullets and jumped out the window? Yo, I'm saying it's not funny, but I gotta laugh because the enemy really think they could just tell us anything right now. They can't tell us anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's this time going on. I'm assuming that the father, Rodney Hinton Jr., he got the call. Yo, we got some bad news. So he has to go down there to identify the body. Because I don't hear nothing about mommy. All this going on, I don't hear nothing about the mother yet. What's going on with this family? You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming he went down there and he's already pissed off because he know what we know. And he's saying to himself, they murdered my son. Because he knows his son. Like I said, all the pictures I saw so far, this guy's on the football team in high school. He ain't got no pictures of him throwing up no gang signs and none of that. So in his mind, the father, forget all of our what we think. We thinking about what the father thinks. He know his son better than we know him. So in his mind, he's like, they murdered my son. And now he goes down there to get some information. And you know they stonewalling him. You know why? Because they stonewalling us with the bullshit on TV, on the news channels. So I know they was stonewalling him, and he knew it. Like, they're trying to cover it up. They murdered my son. They think they're getting away now. Here it is, a lot of you black folks. I ain't gonna say house niggas because some of y'all are not. Y'all just got a little confused because, you know, they like to use technology in the media to make it seem like the father is wrong. When the police murders your child, you go crazy mentally. You're mentally disturbed. You have a mental breakdown and you enrage. A lot of y'all say, oh, he shouldn't have did that, was wrong. Have your son been murdered by the police? If not, then you can't tell that man, is he wrong or right? Because you don't know that feeling. You don't know that feeling of seeing your child being a statistic on TV like everybody else who got murdered by the police, and the police is stonewalling you in your face and you know they murdered your child. And then meanwhile, you've seen a lot of police also getting off. Yeah, they got some that's getting locked up because they got to throw some under the bus to make it look good. It's called technology. And then they don't get that enough time to get a little 15 years. Like the officer that beat Robert Brooks up, and I believe it was Marcy or Mid-State. I believe it was Marcy. They killed that brother live on a body cam, beat him to death, hit him all in the ground over and over all night. And all he got was 15 years. Now imagine if one of us did that. Let me tell you something. If you're in prison and you cut a CO, just cut him. Depending on your background, that's how much time you get for cutting. So that 15 years ain't shit. That's a ballpark. He's still being home. I mean, he's gonna be up there in age, but he still got his life. He's gonna still come home. But of course he gonna be in an involved PC. He ain't gonna be in no population. Trust him, believe that shit. They would tear his head off because you ain't a CO no more. So you're done. You know, and then like California where you got the white gangs, that ain't happening in New York, buddy. All that Aryan brother, that shit don't rock over here. You know what I'm saying? So he's in trouble. So now the father hears this and he's going crazy. Now he decides to get into a vehicle, as what they said, because I'm hearing two stories again on this one. They're trying to give you some many stories. It's like It's like the American law. They always have a law to contradict another law, to contradict another law, to contradict another law. And they can play all this mind games with you when it comes to the law, right? So they say that Rodney was in the car and he decided to take it upon himself to run down another officer. This officer, excuse me, oh man. Okay, give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to get his name up. This officer is Sheriff Deputy Larry Henderson, where he was killed on May 2nd, the very next day. Now, this is interesting, right? Because at first they said murder in the first degree, 2 counts, right? And they read off the rest, premeditated murder, capital murder, because they want to give him the death penalty. Now I was kind of confused because murder with 2 counts means that 2 people was murdered. That's what it means. So I was scratching my head saying, wait a minute, how he got 2 counts of murder? It's impossible. But now I'm hearing there was a woman in the car and it was driving. Oh, everybody in Cincinnati saying it's a woman. Y'all got to check out social media. They're really saying this. We the ones they trying to block out certain things to make sure that it would never be another Martin Luther King riot. Because see, back then in the 60s, when they came up on the platform in front of TV and the news, it broadcast everywhere on every TV. So you was able to be in one set in one mind when you heard Martin talk or when you heard Malcolm talk. So when Martin got murdered, it triggered every black mind. They said, we will never let the media hit every home like that ever again. And this is why we don't have any half truths and half lies, and we don't even know what's going on. But we hearing more stuff that's going on in Cincinnati. Now they saying it was a woman driving. I don't know. I don't know. They got me so confused. I'm trying to figure it out because I'm trying to figure out how he got 2 counts of murder. But you got a woman in the car. So where's her body? Where's her family? What the hell is going on, man? They doing a whole lot of stuff. So now Ryan is in jail, and a lot of people saying he wasted his life. He killed the innocent officer. The officer didn't have anything to do with this, and so forth and so forth. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. I said this before. First of all, I'm going to go back. When the police department started, it was started to catch slaves. That was the purpose of the police department, was to catch runaway niggas. That's how their mindset was when it started. That was the system. There was no black officers because you was either a slave nigga or you was a slave nigga that was free, and you was a slave nigga that had other slaves. That's how they looked at us. So when a lot of us was rebellion and we was running away from the plantation, they created these what they call bounty hunters, what later on became police department, because the bounty hunters was getting a lot of money, catching runaway slaves. Sometimes they was kidnapping free black people and putting them in slavery and said, we caught a runaway nigga, and they sell them just to get the money. So the police department saw this as a way of getting money. So they created a system which is called the police department. So they would ride around on their horses and they would ask black people, nigga, give me your papers. Since you didn't know how to read and write, your master signed your ID card with your identification. And then you show your ID, which is the paper, and they say, okay, nigga, go ahead, go free where you going. This is the bias that took place since then. That's their blue wall. That's their system. That's their mindset. So now, in this day and time, it's the same thing. This is why they get off. I remember when I was talking to a police officer, and he told me, he said, yo, look, there's 2 types of police departments. I said, what kind? What you mean 2 types of different police departments? Hold on. All right, later. Yeah, so he said it was two types of different police departments. So I didn't understand that. He said you have the black side and you have the white side. He said it's a blue wall. Yes, we have to hold each other's secrets. It's a difference between good cop and bad cop. Good cop is you working you working in your job and you work through the books by the book. You work using the law by any means. Well, excuse me, not by any means, but you're a straight up officer, whether you black or white. But if they said, he's a bad officer, that means you ain't trying to cover up nothing. You too good, you too honest. So when this happens and they kill one of us, of course, these officers, they have a job. They have a livelihood. I know some of y'all saying, oh, yeah, no, they can't be there. You listen, you gotta put yourself in that situation. That's their only means to get a job. You only take a multiple choice test to get that job. You don't have to be a brainiac. Some of them is not that bright. They can't do nothing else. And they take that test because it's something more easy for them to have an income to take care of their family. So now they don't want to jeopardize their job. So now they see something happening. They can't jump out the window because now everybody in the precinct will go against them. And then, of course, when it's something like this with us, with us and police officers, white officers, the precinct split because the black side know what's up. And he told me, he said, yo, we be locking ass. He said, sometimes we be in the locker rooms just fighting. It be split. Some people get transferred to other departments. It goes down, and that's why you got the 100 police blacks that's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, they could do but so much, but they're trying. But it splits. So they have the secrecy thing that's going on. So now, there you have this code. Everything is blue. Because this is a gang. This is a gang. They stole the country. They put people in slavery. They took over the system and they created a system for themselves. This is a gang that made everything in law. If the mafia took over the country and they made their own government, everything would be legal. You know why? Because they're the rulers. So this former slave master system, they're the rulers. This is a gang. This ain't legit. This is a gang that kills blacks because most of them is racist. And some of them is just scared because they see what they see on TV and they feel like if we start running, we start doing something automatically, you will kill them. So that's a free ID to murder us. Gun, 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 gun. But the camera's shaking all over the place. You don't see nothing. It's just like you when you're in prison and they beating you up like they did Robert Brooks. They say stop resisting. So when they start doing investigations and they start asking nurses or other officers, they say, I don't know, but I know the guy was fighting back because they said, stop resisting. We kept hearing it. So now the investigation is you resisting, but you knocked out. They kick you all in the face and everything. And this is what they probably was trying to do to Rodney Hinton. Because he was in the elevator and they said there was some black officers that went in the elevator because they didn't want him alone with the white officers. And you see the video when he's in there, you see the white guy, he's like, this is the gang, because he killed one of their gang members. That's why his family wasn't allowed in the courtroom. You had 30 officers, you had 30 officers in the courtroom and kicked his brother out. He said he ain't do nothing. You saw him, he walked in and they told him, yo, you gotta leave. You're like, what? I gotta leave? I'm here to support my brother. And no, you gotta leave. Since when a family member cannot come in the courthouse to support their own family member? Since when? When does that happen? That's law. You can do that. But nah, they break the law. You know why? Because when you're the gang and you make the law, you can break the law. And they did it live on TV, kicked him out, and told Black America, I dare you niggas to say something. I told you, they had to put all their stuff on TV and books for you to see. And after everything is said and done, Rodney walked away with his head held high. And I heard what he was saying. Well, I didn't hear, but as I kept looking in, people was reading his lips and you could hear him saying, he ain't never coming back. with a smile on his face. Y'all criticized him, told me he wasted life. For him, he said, I did the right thing. You took my son's life, I take your life. All of y'all guilty by association. Because if anything happened on the police department, y'all gonna kill one of us and y'all gonna justify it. Just like you killed his son. His son ain't do nothing. His son was innocent. You're not crying about that, but you know how white America is, because that's who's really crying about it. White America. They upset. But that's your fault. That is your fault. Now I want to get back to the charges he got, right? Now they changed it. I tell you, this is a funny case. They changed the charges. Look, they said now he has been indicted on 5 felony charges in the connection with the death of Hamilton County Sheriff Deputy Larry Henderson on May 2nd, 2025. The charges are as follows. 2 counts of aggravated murder, capital offenses carrying the possibility of the death penalty. So now they changed it from capital to aggravated, which could hold the death penalty, right? Now I said, what the hell? I never heard of this. I do some research. So 2 counts of the aggravated murder, they call it capital offenses carrying the possibility of death penalty. Excuse me, so it is capital murder. 1 count of murder, 2 counts of felonies assault. What the 2 counts of felony assault? The man is dead. What assault? What assault? I don't understand that one, but that's state charges, right? Okay. Prosecutors allege that the Hinton intentionally drove his vehicle into the Deputy Henderson, who was directing traffic near the University of Cincinnati during the graduation event. This act is believed to have been a retaliation for the police-involved shooting of Hinton's 18-year-old son, Ryan Hinton, the previous day. The incident is being treated as a targeting, killing, and if convicted on the aggravated murder charges, Hinton could face the death penalty. So I'm saying to myself, hold on, how you get 2 counts? So their version, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I can't find it, so I was just breaking that because I kind of read it before. So therefore, oh no, I got it. Excuse me. So let's break it down. Let's break it down. So who else did he unalive? Exactly. Who else did he unalive? If you got 2 counts, but they changed it. Like I said, they changed it to aggravated murder for 2 counts. Now look what they did. Now they ruled out the 2 counts of murder, regular murder, right? This is what they said. Okay, regular murder or second-degree murder. So here's the breakdown of aggravated murder versus regular murder. The definition. Unlawful killing of another person with intent, but without certain aggravating factors. Example. A person intentionally kills someone during a heated argument without planning it ahead. So me and you arguing in the store, next thing you know, one of us start fighting or just arguing, I pull out and I kill you. That's unintentional because when I walked in the store, I didn't just automatically do that, so it wasn't planned. I walked in there, we had some words, and then things took place. So that's one, right? Okay. They say that usually runs to 15 to life. Now, they got the second, aggravated murder, right? Definition, a murder that includes the specific aggravating factors, making it more serious. Common aggravating factors. Victim is a police officer, child, or public official. The murder was premeditated or planned. It occurred during the commission of a felony like kidnapping or robbery. It was done in a retaliation or to avoid arrest. So this is why they're giving them 2 counts. 1 count for the retaliation, right? And the other count for the intention. So they give him, so they're trying to bury him for it. They're just trying to hit him with all kinds of counts, right? Meanwhile, the officer, they got everything about Rodney figured out, but meanwhile, the officer, he's good to go. Oh, the name we don't know. See, what they trying to do is they trying to have us focus on Rodney case so much that we will forget about his son's murder. And this cop will go off easy free. That's why you didn't even know the name. Look, you just thought about like, oh, yo, he did right. How come I ain't never heard the name? So you were so distracted. You were so distracted from that. They trying to distract us with Puffy. Now they trying to distract us with Smokey Robinson because they got him on some sexual rape charges too. Yeah, Smokey, 85 years old. What is wee doing now? But they trying to go off with some stuff that happened 10 years ago. Meanwhile, the ladies still was working with him during that time. And after everything that was said and done. This thing is crazy. You understand? So this is what they're trying to do to cause a big distraction. So now, what causing more of a distraction, you know what I noticed? They like to make fake pages up. You see these little pages on Facebook, they be saying news outlet this and some whole made up stuff, and then they'll make a whole fake post, and then you got all the white people. They're this is, I wish I had it. It was this white lady, right, on TikTok. And she said, black people, you act like you want to be mad. She was like, let me tell you something. If we go to war, you're finished. First of all, we don't shoot like this. You shoot like this. What are you watching TV? You come on now. That's why she said the only reason why we hasn't decimated ourselves and killing it because we don't know how to shoot. Really? We've been killing each other since Spears. What's she talking about? We got snipers in the army. We got experts that make bombs that's in the army. You trained us, dummy. You forgot? We gonna turn we'll turn your whole training against you. We will know most of your hideout spots. And we got a black militia. Don't play games. Don't do that. We've been killing each other. Man, we're trained from teenagers. And it's sad, but it's a reality. We're trained from teenagers by killing one another. You out there shooting at cans and trees that don't shoot back. And don't get me wrong, yeah, you're good shots. But that's when the object is standing still. We're talking about moving objects that's shooting back at you. See, that's a whole different training. So don't start that. Every gangbang in this country will unite. We would decimate this country overnight. No, seriously. Don't get me wrong. We'll be hurting the process. We'll be hurting the process too, especially economically. As a matter of fact, the whole country will fall. The government won't even allow it. They will fry. They will fry that crop before they let this happen. They will fry it. Now Kim Kardashian is getting into the mix. Ain't that something? Kim. You know, I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I first heard her started doing stuff like this, I was like, "Oh, she looking for publicity. She doing this for what? Why for why? Yeah, this ain't your people. I mean, you like our people in the bedroom, you know, or maybe just friendship. But I know definitely in the bedroom because that's what she really messed with. This is not a disrespect. This is just facts." But as she continued on with Meek Mills and I believe Jay-Z, and they, focus on trying to get brothers on, and she did get a few people home. I see, she's putting her self on the line by trying to help the brother out. But now here's the funny thing about that, right? If it was Jay-Z doing it, they would have went in on him on social media. Because every time I look on TikTok and they talk about this subject, they talk about this guy, Ryan, was a gangbanger. He stole cars. He was selling drugs. The father was a deadbeat father because how would his son do this? And, they're just going crazy. And they're making it seem like what he did was wrong. But now once they're saying that this guy was killed, I don't care if he was a gangbanger or not. We're talking about, did he fire a gun at you? Yes or no? That's it. I don't care what he did. What is so much different than your white soldiers when they go to Iraq or they go into Africa and they bombing innocent men, women, and children and families? How about the atomic bomb that you dropped on the whole 2 cities in Japan that hasn't even been built yet? How many of them got killed? Those were innocent families. Over 100 million. Over 100 million. Excuse me. Sorry. Over a million. Over a million innocent people that was not in the military in Japan was killed, murdered, decimated. No bones, no nothing. You can't bury nothing. All you can do is put a name on a wall because you can't find them. And you cheer that bullshit every time they talk about the anniversary of the atomic bomb. You praise that. But yet, when a brother want to take his arms up to fight because his son was murdered, you got a problem with that. This white dude, what's his name? Luigi. He killed the CEO on camera. Why? Because he was getting bad Medicaid or something, insurance. He blew his brains out on national TV, but on camera for you to see. And they came up there smiling. Yeah, I did it. I ain't hear nothing. As a matter of fact, I heard, oh, he's ill. It's a mental issue. Yeah. You're right, it is a mental issue. Because if you look at white history, Caucasian history, and I'm not just talking about in America, I'm talking about in Europe before they found the New World so they could colonize. Man, they was going through a whole lot of mental issues. You see it all on the TV, Braveheart. You see all those medieval movies with Caesar in Rome and all of that. They was decimating each other. They got a mental issue. They can't even be peaceful if they wanted to. They could try. They try. They do try. They try. Some of them try. But once you start talking for yourself, it's something in their mind that doesn't click. And they just don't see what you see. Because their culture and their religion and their way of life makes them feel that they're dominant and they can do what they want to do. And then the image that's on the TV about us deters their mindset. So if they're being raised in white supremacy and racist, you don't believe me? Test one of your white friends out. You'll see the racism come out of him. And he don't even know it, or she wouldn't even know it. It's because this is how they was taught. This is how they was taught. The other day, my son goes down to do laundry, right? And I guess we was probably like 5 minutes late of removing the clothes. You know, although there was a wash machine, she decided to take my son's clothes out and throw it on the floor. I respect her. Like, it happened to me before. Somebody took my clothes out and they put it in a dryer. And they put their clothes in the washing machine. Now, they just left it in the dryer. They ain't turned it on. And I respect that. Thank you. I should have been on time. They didn't have to do that. They could have put it on top of the machine. But they put it in there like, okay, when a guy comes or when she comes, you know, they'll swipe the card and, you know, turn the washing machine on. I mean, the dryer on. But not this white woman. She took my son's clothes out that was fully washed and threw the shit on the floor. I got pissed off because I didn't know it was a she yet. And I got dressed because I was going to deal with it in another way. Because I was totally disrespectful. We live in that damn same building. You didn't have to do that. But when I saw this white woman, automatically, I already know my teachers. I already know where this can go. I told my son, say nothing. But she felt it. She knew because she stood there after she put her stuff, because I took her stuff up, and I threw that shit on the floor. This is a different era. I don't know what era you think you in. This ain't the 60s. This ain't the 50s. We ain't actually moved back into our community. We have Brooklyn. We have Harlem. Why are you coming over here for? You don't want us around y'all, but y'all come living in with us. And she stood there while my son was putting his clothes in the dryer because she knew, yeah, we threw your shit because you threw our shit. That was how my wife always said, a guilty conscience. Because she came there, she said, oh, what the hell threw my shit on for? Well, I threw his and they're there, so I know they did it, so I'm going to stand here. She knew what the hell she did. I don't give a damn. This is a whole new era. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what Malcolm said. And this is in the 60s, all right? I want you to listen to what Malcolm said. Both.
Black people. And this type of black thinking will cause all black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. It is the only thing that will bring an end to it.
That's Malcolm. He said that in the 60s. And you know what? And he's right. And that's why times are changing. We're not our grandfathers and great grandfathers in the 50s and in the 60s. They want to march. We don't want to march. Because all the white folks going to do is watch you on TV, hurt your shoes, hurt your toes. Then you ain't killing nobody. You ain't stopping no financial growth. So tomorrow you coming back and you're going to spend all your money back into their system. You're going to come to work and you're going to do what you're supposed to do. Fine, you can march all you want. But see, this generation, they don't want to march. They tired. They said, listen, if we can't have our freedom, burn the whole goddamn country down. So when George Floyd was brutally murdered on national TV, actually was murdered and was shown for national TV, black people wasn't trying to hear it. They didn't even wait for a conviction because we already knew the outcome. And they tore this thing down. Now, a lot of you may say, oh, you're blaming up the whole community and they got insurance and all that. Hey, so who's going to pay them for the insurance? The same system. And they're already in debt. Take all their goddamn clothes. Take everything. Even the mayor of New York at that time, Cuomo, said, I'm with the protesters. Because even he saw the bull crap that was going on with George Floyd. So black people is getting tired. We don't want to march. We want results. And that's why Rodney Hinton Jr. took it upon himself to allegedly drive this car into this officer that y'all feel and think is innocent. He is not innocent. He's a part of that gang. See, some of you that don't run the streets, you will never understand this mindset. They do. That's why they looked at him like that. Because only gang members and gang bangers and people that's in a gang or organization that does the illegal stuff know that mindset. So when you see a Crip hit a Blood or a Blood hit a Crip, they don't need to know what's set. Well, and out here in New York, I know that. But in California, they'll go to that particular set, but they will hit anybody because you're a part of that set. You took an oath. You took an oath to protect your brother no matter what. You took an oath to protect your sister no matter what. You are joined forces. So just like the drug gang, the drug crews, they don't go after the Pacific crew. They'll go after the whole crew. So when this brother found out his son was killed by the police department, he went after who? He didn't go after a civilian, did he? Did he go after a security guard? No. Did he go after a plumber, a white plumber? No. A lot of y'all want to see. As a matter of fact, did he make it a race thing? No. He didn't even make it a race thing. He made it a cop thing. It just so happened that he saw the white cop. Now, I'm not saying that he decided to pick a white officer. He could have killed the black officer because you're part of the same gang, whether you realize it or not. But he decided to go at this white officer and he murdered him. And I understand, that he had family. I understand he has his children. I understand he was a well-decorated officer. I understand you claim he was innocent. I mean, we don't know that. He been on the job, how many, 30 years? You think he didn't do anything corrupt? I mean, maybe he didn't. We don't know. But you're part of the same gang. So when your gang hit somebody else in that gang got to pay. And that's what he did. And he held his head up high. Oh yeah, he lost his life, but he felt it was worth it. Some of you don't think because some of you are like his father, who's a punk that got up there and sided with the system. Saying, I don't condone what my son did. Far as we know, you was never there. It seems like he was a better father than you. Because he held his head up high in a courtroom full of cops. Only one was there with his lawyer. He held his head up high like a man, like a real black man, and looked them all in their face. He didn't deter and was afraid. He knew they could have killed him in there, but he didn't care. He looked up. It was so sad. The black woman, she was standing there. She couldn't even look at him. She was like, but I understand. She has a job. She didn't want to look at crazy. It's so crazy with this case that a young black man, I believe he was a security guard, he said he got fired for even just talking about the case. A brother. The white people didn't like it on his job. I wish I had it. He done made a rap song. You know? He still got the uniform. He's mocking them, you know, because he's talking about it. And they didn't like it. I don't think they didn't like the fact when he was him talking about it. I think they didn't like the fact that what he was saying. And they realized he's siding with his people. Get this nigga out of here. It's a split in the country. And it ain't getting dirty. It ain't get dirty yet. Because you know why? Because the focus is really going to target that police officer eventually. Because people want to know why is this man being prosecuted after what he did. Now they're going for the mental breakdown. They're going for the mental breakdown. And I believe that's true. And he should go for that. Because every time a white person says that, they say it's a mental breakdown. As a matter of fact, you got the white dude that shot up the church and killed all them black people. I think it was like 8 of them, 9 of them in South Carolina. You know they're trying to reverse the death penalty, saying that his mind wasn't mature yet. His mind wasn't matured yet when he killed them in the church, in the black church. But yet he was part of a white militia group. But his mind wasn't developed. If you're in a white militia group, then that means you're dealing with something that's dealing with militant. That means you have militant training, militant understanding, and militant movements. You have to have the intelligence to move as a militant. You cannot be no cuckoo. Who you talking to with that crap? But his mind wasn't developed yet. He had a mental issue. Luigi that killed the CEO. Oh, he had a mental issue. The Columbine, they shot all the people. The trench coat mafia. Oh, they had a mental issue. Well, Rodney Hinton had a mental issue. I know he did because I know if you kill any of my children, I don't care which one, I'm going to retaliate. You can take it how you want to take it. I'm not saying I'm going to. I said I want to. Because I don't know who's watching. You know what I'm saying? I would want to because you killed my child. You killed my child. I don't want to hear shit. Especially you in my face trying to cover it up. And this is what Malcolm is talking about. We are coming into a new mindset. They can't control us. And it's driving us crazy. And they know it's coming. They know it's coming. That's why they're going to use some of these cops as scapegoats. They're like, listen, man, we got to calm these Negroes down because, man, they about to go in. Because what's going to happen sooner or later is every time a cop kill us, I think the bottom of the barrel is going to start is gangbangers going to start killing innocent white people and leaving their bandanas around like, yo, it was me. Just to let y'all know it's coming from the black community. No, that's what I believe. I mean, yeah, Monica, it's so damn sad. I really believe that. That's what's going to start happening. And when that start happening, now the government or the police department, they're going to be scared and they're going to be looking for retaliation. They scared now. That's why they came out with that Marcy's law again for the cop. So we don't know his name because they're afraid. That was an act of war. That has never, that as far as we know, that's documented in this day and time. We never heard a father or a mother did that. But we did hear about a few people unaliving some cops throughout the years. They don't want to put that up. But you go on those scoops that app, man, I done seen a lot of brothers, man. They had one dude, he just called the police on the disturbance. And they came to the door and he lit the whole door up. He lit the police up. They ain't playing, but they ain't want to put it out there like that because what it does, it's called inciting a riot. So they don't want that. Yo, it's getting real evil. And, you know, it's like, even when we decide to put our hands on the steering wheel, put our hands up, they still try to find a ways or some type of way to murder us and call it justifiable. Look how bold they is. No, I really want you to really understand what I'm saying. This is how bold they is. They are murdering us with body cams. I remember in prison, brothers was saying, yo, man, the COs ain't gonna beat us up no more like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, they got body cams. They still doing it. Why are they still doing it? Think about that. Why? If you know you're getting crucified left and right, why are you still doing it? Because there's something that's coming from the top letting them know y'all can still do it, but y'all gotta do it a right way. Y'all can't blow it up, because if y'all blow it up and it gets too much political heat, somebody has to fall. And that's why the cop that killed Robert Brooks, hey, look how long that case took. Immediately he said, give me 15 years. And they said, put your right hand up, put his right hand up. He said, yeah, I did it. I beat him up, kicked him in the groin, me and all the other officers. And I told on them. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say I can't do business with crooked cops or crooked SEALs, because they always going to tell on each other. They don't live by no code or no snitching, only when it comes to their job, because they need it. But when it comes to their money and time, they going to snitch. They don't care about no blue wall, no sick, man, please. If those cops can get away with it, they will lie and stick together. But if cops and COs cannot get away with it, they are telling, man. They are snitching. And a lot of you brothers, y'all got to be aware, man, what's going on, man, because they out for you. How many black cops you heard murder white people in their community? How many? If a black cop did what they did, man, there'll be protesters out there. How many times the KKK got under the RICO? Ain't that organized crime? Never. But you always got these gangbangers on RICO. Y'all making guns and y'all infiltrating the law. Man, that's the big ass RICO case there. But they use them. The powers that be who don't care about these white trash cops. They use them to try to keep us in line. And by keeping us in line, they also use the gatekeepers, who are the house niggas, the millionaires and billionaires who ain't saying shit right now. They use them as the gatekeepers to keep us cool. That's what they do. So they get all these politicians, these black politicians, and these fake civil rights movements, and these other people in these sororities and fraternities who come up with these programs, who are all the gatekeepers, right? And they come and they try to control us by keeping our anger in check. Something like the Black Lives Matter. Remember that? Where they go? I ain't here. Hello? You anybody seeing Black Lives Matter? I ain't see it. Hold on, we seeing. Can I Google them? They still around? Because I ain't hear nothing. I ain't hear Pete. I didn't even hear that they was going to give a press conference or nothing. At least I saw some Black Panthers. God damn. Oh, yeah, I forgot. They all got investigated for tax fraud, stealing all the black people money and buying mansions. Come on, talk to me. See, this is why I don't deal with those people. People like that in those programs. And it was started by a Jewish white person. Look, come on, man. Told you to keep the niggas in line so they don't riot. And then they promise you money. Money that they print up here. We're going to give you, like the grandfather, he was being nice because he wants some money. He wants some money. Father don't give a fuck about no money. He said, man, you can keep the money. I'm going to take your life. This fool up there criticizing his son, and he looking for money. Told me, I feel for the family, and I'm hurting. I could tell the officer was scared. How you could tell? You can't even see him in the video. So how you could tell? Stop being busy being a house nigga. Stop scratching when you don't itch. Stand up for your son. He could get killed in there. You up there kissing white folks' ass in the media. Hey, you need to be all across the street. Now, the brother the brother Ryan Hinton, they started, right? Excuse me, not Ryan Hinton, excuse me, Rodney Hinton Jr. They started a GoFundMe. Look at this shit. They started a GoFundMe page, right? Or a GoFundMe account for him. And black people was pounding money into his account. See, I tell you, it's a different way of thinking now. Years ago, we went and did that. We'd have just stood around, march, hold some signs up, do some interviews. But we put our money where our mouth is. See, that is dangerous because we funding our own. We're coming to help our own. That is a sign of unity. A spark of unity can start a fire. They don't want that. So what they did was the officers in the police departments throughout the country, they started to raise an issue with GoFundMe about this. Oh, you could do that? He killed an officer. So what? How many of y'all killed innocent people and still got a GoFundMe? The guy that killed George Floyd, he had a GoFundMe. And he had his knee behind George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes while being videoed while people telling him get off. And he like, yeah, I ain't getting off. He had a GoFundMe, murdered him on video. And even after George Floyd was dead, he still had his knee on his neck. So now they took the GoFundMe from Rodney Hinton Jr. They said, no. So what the wife did, I saw on social media, they have another GoFundMe account. I forgot the name of it. Sorry about that. I got it on my other phone. But they started another GoFundMe account. And his wife was saying that they took the GoFundMe, so she started everything and wanted to and they wanted to start the donations. As of right now, they raised to $37,000, which is, come on, give our people a round of applause for stepping up like that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, please. So that's a blessing. Somebody came to his aid. Our people came to his aid. They even got lawyers that's there that's taking his case. Matter of fact, his lawyers already paid for. Because first they had other lawyers that was stepping up, but now he got some heavy hitters that's stepping up for his defense. You know what I'm saying? And now you got Kim Kardashian stepping in. I ain't hear white people calling her anything yet. But they will. They're going to try. But she coming in with the millions and she coming in with them connections. So it's but so much that she could, hey, what's going on? Peace, man. You know, Kim Kardashian, she has those connections, so she definitely gonna help the brother out. You know, I just fear for his life. You know what I mean? Because he's in prison, and 9 out of 10, depending on where he's at, I'm pretty sure there's predominantly white folks that work there. So I trust me, I've been in the system. I know how it works. They spitting in his food. They probably not even feeding him like that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get crazy for him in there because now he got a big ass mark on his back. You know, see what they did to Sandra Bland. You know what I'm saying? They killed her in the cell. And they was just after her because she was putting them on blast. They knew who she was. They was after her. What happened to those cops? So is Rodney wrong? I don't think he is. I applaud him. It takes real guts to do that. It takes very real guts to stand up and revenge your son by killing a police officer. Because one, you know, you ain't gonna never come home by doing that. Two, they can kill you and get away with it, especially killing an officer. You understand? And he did that. He don't give a damn about his life because he said, I'm making a stand. And you know what? He set a trend. He sparked something. To the point he letting cops know, listen, I ain't the only one. You keep this up, we gonna start killing y'all. If the system won't want to step up and to protect us, then we gonna protect ourselves and we gonna start killing y'all. We ain't have to get this cop, we get another cop. Like I said, when Bloods and Crips get it on, especially in New York, They don't look for no particular set. You blood, you getting it. You Crip, you getting it. Guilty by association. That's how gangs run. That's how organizations run. That's how the police association runs. When somebody from that crew kill a cop, guess what happens? They go after the whole goddamn crew. I don't care if you innocent, you was home, what happened. Didn't when the young officer Edward Byrne got killed in Queens, joined the Supreme Team indictment, what happened? They declared war on the whole crack trade. They took everything down. Just because that officer got killed. They declared war on the black community. And everybody that was a kingpin at that time, with Alpo and all that, they all went down. Within 5 years, they all went down. It was a domino effect. Because I seen it, I reading Don Diva Fest. I said, God damn, they was all getting picked up at the same time. How come they didn't see this happening? Because you ain't thinking about it. You thinking, oh, them dudes over there got knocked off. Meanwhile, the Feds been watching you for 2 years. You next. They declared war. So for you out there, don't be thinking like he did something wrong. Nah, man, he went at this. He just went at another gang member. That's all. And he did what he had to do. That ain't about being racist. That was just pure revenge. Straight up. He probably was not even racist. Excuse me, prejudice. Because we can't be racist. We could just be prejudiced, not like another skin color or another ethnic background. You know what I'm saying? We're not DJ Vlad. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're not DJ Vlad. You know what I'm saying? So, so like I said, they're going to try to cover up this police officer's actions by killing Ryan because they used this bullshit law, Marshall's law, to withhold his name. So we don't know his government. How can you investigate anything? And now they do an investigation. Where's everybody out that really does this investigation? What's going on? They doing a lot, yo. They stonewalling this investigation so much and they're coming up with so many lies. It's coming to the point that you don't even really know what's what. You know what I mean? Because it's just lies on top of lies on top of lies, mixed with some truth and mixed with some more lies to the point that you don't even know what to believe. So when you go on social media, you see everybody arguing and saying all types of different things because they're hearing different things. We shouldn't be hearing different things. When you have an investigation like the police and you start hearing at least 5 or 10 different stories, you know they lying. Because you should be hearing one story. You should be hearing one facts. How you ever have a body cam and you can't catch everything around? If I'm running, I've seen body cams before when people running, it jumps around, but you can see the whole perimeter. You don't start seeing down. That means when you're running, they pulling their body cam down. So you can't see, you only see the foot. And that's what we were seeing, right? We didn't see anything. But we did see Ryan run from the garbage dumpster sideways with no gun. So how the hell he get shot? Why he got shot? Even if he did have a gun and it was already on the ground, what's the grounds for shooting him in the back? Whether he was a transformer, he had a gun come out the back like Optimus Prime or something. I mean, let us know. Let put it in the comments. I need to know. This is crazy. So they're saying the revolution, is coming and all that. Look, I'm going to say this. The revolution will not be televised. You will just hear about it. What I mean is when the shit do go down, it's just going to go down with a ripple effect and we're going to just jump everything into the same mindset. Just like what we did with George Floyd. Everybody started rioting everywhere. It was no plan. Nobody had a discussion. There was no meeting. You just heard, yo, New York is popping off. Yo, PA's popping off. Yo, Baltimore's popping off. And then you had the white dude that was walking around, I believe it was in Baltimore, Maryland. He was walking around with the AR-15 helping the cops out. He ain't even a cop. He just had the color. And he was shooting us. He killed 2 people. 2 black people. And they let him go. They told him he did a good job. He was a good citizen. You don't see this shit? So shout out to Rodney Hinton Jr. If that devil can do it with an AR-15, walking down the street, passing police officers, and firing at people who he said is breaking into stores that he don't own, and he's not a cop, and then he could get off, then Rodney could get off too then. Rodney did good service. He took another one out. That's the way that's the way I'm moving. I know some of y'all may disagree with it. I don't care. Because ain't no one innocent. I always heard Chinese people say that, and Japanese, they say, there's no innocence. And I used to like, when I was a kid, I used to be like, nah, they can't say that. It's innocence. Like, and it ain't got nothing to do with that and all that. Let me ask you something. Would you want to transfer your opportunities to poor countries and take their opportunities? No, you wouldn't. You would rather keep our government oppressing them so you can have your lifestyle. See, you're not innocent. That's what Japan means. When it's time to vote, who you vote for? The same people who push the pen to start war. There's no innocence. When you decide that you love your country so much and you want to sign up for the army and the military and the navy and all of that, there's no innocence. You're guilty just like your president. You want to keep that lifestyle by oppressing other countries so you can floss. I know it's a good life. There's no innocence because you ain't going to want to trade that in. That's just a simple fact. That's how white folks think. They have a system that privileged them for over 500 years. They do not want to trade that shit in. Just that make it equal, make you happy, make me happy. They want to continue to use their privilege and their culture and their color to do what the fuck they want to do. They do that. I see it. I be out here walking my dog. We have a system. Black people. I'm not lying. When I see them, they come with their dog. They see my dog. One of us will go across the street so our dogs don't try to go at each other. White folks, they just want to walk and just say, hold the leash tighter. I be looking at them like, what the fuck? I stand there to the side and just let them pass. I'm not crossing. But I told my wife, when this American bully get big and she start chomping shit up, I ain't moving nothing. I'm gonna let her get him. Because you got to respect the system that your community has. If you see my dog and I see your dog and I know our dogs is a little rowdy, I'm gonna go across the street. Sometimes I just go. So my dog don't get crazy. Not them, they'll keep walking like, Some of them would just stand there and let their dog sit around and you be trying to wait like, what the hell you gonna move? And they want you to just stand there. Not me. I be disrespectful with it. No, because I just let them know. I let them know by my body behavior that this is not the 40s. This is not the 50s. You're dealing with a free-minded black man. Straight up. I'm not going to disrespect you, but I'm damn sure not going to sit there and stand there and tolerate you disrespecting me. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. You definitely going to hear my words in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. Just stay in tune with this case. You're gonna see, or even on your job, your job, and maybe even split. You may hear some things that white folks they not gonna like. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, it's getting real hectic because right now that's all I see on TikTok. Some of the people got live on TikTok. They talk about Diddy all day. They ain't even talking about Diddy no more. They talking about this right now. This is right now is hot news. They don't care about Diddy no more. And I'm pretty sure Diddy's like, yes, god damn. Thank you. Give me some breather. Because they left Diddy for a second. And then they came right back to Diddy. Yeah, they left Diddy for a second. They started talking about Kendrick and Drake. And they went off that end. And then they forgot about them again. They said the battle's over. They came right back to Diddy, man. And Diddy got gray hairs now, I see it. But that happens, ain't no dying there. You in there for 9 months, almost a year. Of course you're going to get some gray hairs, Of course you're going to be stressed out. They trying to offer that man 186 months. Man, that's over 20 years. Who the hell going to take that? And he's like, what, he's 55, 56? You add that up, 20-something years. Who the hell wants to come home that time? You got to be crazy, especially if he feel like he's innocent. But we ain't going to start that topic. We can talk about that another time. So with that being said, I'm about to go, and relax. I want to say thank you for tuning in to the Lethal Truth. Again, I'll be here again. I want to talk about some more stuff. Some other things in the news. You got Shannon Sharp. As a matter of fact, we're going to be on here tomorrow. We got to talk about Shannon Sharp. Because you know what? I think Shannon Sharp was set up. But I do believe that he do mess with some younger females. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got that money. You know what I'm saying? And I think vice versa. I think a lot of women mess with a lot of younger men. As a matter of fact, even what's her name? Jackie. Oh man, I forgot her name. The sister that acted on 227, she was like, she was trying to show her breasts, her cleavage or something. She admitted that she was dating Ray J when he was like 25 years old. How old is this woman? You know what I'm saying? But and she said it. She said, "Oh, I didn't even know." And she was like, "I didn't even know that I was smashing one of my friends' men. It was another older woman that was messing with Ray J." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Whoa!" I said, "Okay, now." You know what I'm saying? The older woman is getting they beaks wet. But you know, we'll talk about that another time because you know that's a whole different culture that's coming up now in this country. So with that being said, I want to say thank you for listening. God bless you. Y'all have a good night. Peace.